Migration Advisory Committee just released their report faulting some of the plans the UK government made to cut down migration to the UK and have made their recommendations. So we're looking at all of this in details in today's video and what this really means for migration moving forward. So please stick around with me while we go straight into it. So the Migration Advisory Committee just released their annual report regarding migration and have made their recommendations. So we're going to look at it right now. Now, this is from the official government website and it looks like a lot. Even when I was going through it, they categorized it chapter by chapter, but the Guardian have just summarized it for us. So let's look at that one just so that it will be easier for us to go into, okay? So here it is. Keir Starmer's plan to bring down UK net migration by improving domestic training and skills is not guaranteed to work. The government's independent advisors have concluded, right? So this is Mark speaking now. The Migration Advisory Committee also said that the average migrant who comes to the UK on a skilled worker visa contributes 20 times more than the average UK-born adult. Personally, I found this really interesting. I don't know if you did too, because when I was looking at this, okay, I realized that the news is not as much as the negative ones out there. You know, when the government comes out or they bring out numbers of migrants, oh, net migration is the highest, oh, thousands of migrants have entered the UK bringing dependence, their numbers are high, blah, blah, blah. You will see all the news outlets, you will see everybody posting it, it will be everywhere. But guess what? Now that the Migration Advisory Committee just said these truths that probably most of them don't want to accept, nobody is talking about it. It's not everywhere. Even when you try to do your research, there are just few media outlets that have published this, right? Now, firstly, these are skilled workers that have gained skills from their home countries. Now, let's take a medical doctor, for instance, coming from Nigeria. They pay lots of money, you know, they go through rigorous trainings, pay lots of money to study medicine, and then they graduate and become doctors, okay? They even have to write exams upon exams and everything, spend so much money to come to the UK to work. So for skilled workers to get jobs and work in the UK, it's not a walk in the park. It's not so easy, right? Alone, getting a skilled worker job, you have to meet the salary requirements. There are points you have to meet to get a skilled worker visa in the UK, right? So you are already having to meet a set standard, a salary requirements. Before it was £26,000 and now they have increased it to even, you know, much higher amounts of money. So you are already working full time, making that amount of money, paying your tax, contributing more to the economy. We're not even talking about all the application fees that migrants pay. Are we talking about visa application fees or the IHS fees or applying for ILR, applying for skilled worker visa, applying for British citizenship, extension of visa, and all the applications that migrants pay for in the UK? Now, remember that we are not even entitled to public funds, at least for the first 5 years of your stay in the UK. You're not entitled to public funds. So you're still making money, contributing, paying more tax, and still taking care of yourself, doing everything you have to do. So I'm actually glad that Mark said this. An annual report from the body released on Tuesday challenges one of the main tenets of Labour plans to reduce net migration, which increased to 906,000 in the year ending June 2023. We have seen all of that, right? So the report said the committee has discussed the government's intention to link work, immigration, and skills policy. Linking immigration and skills policy is not a one-size-fits-all approach, and it is important to consider the individual circumstances within sectors and occupations, including diagnosing whether shortages are genuinely driven by lack of skills or are because of poor pay and conditions, the committee said. Right? So this is something that I feel like the government should just go back and look into thoroughly. I know that, yes, they have to do something about migration numbers. Is very understandable. But, you know, the way they are making it seem, right, does not really make sense to me, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, for legal migrants, these are people that came in here on a visa. And this visa these visas were granted by the government. Okay, so all of us on skilled worker visas, everybody, every legal migrant in the UK applied for a visa at one point in the UK, both the main applicants and their dependents, right? And UKVI approved these visas. So that's to show that they have the numbers and they allowed everybody into the country. Now, a lot of migrants who come here are doing so well for themselves because despite not being entitled to public funds, a lot of us have been able to work so hard while paying our tax to still take care of ourselves and, you know, do something meaningful with our lives. So we are part of the UK workforce, contributing to different sectors. Is there any sector you want to mention in the UK that you will not see migrant workers? I don't think so. And some people who don't have a 9-to-5 jobs are also doing businesses in the UK as well, contributing positively to the economy, paying their taxes as well, and are doing absolutely amazing things in the UK that the government should be proud of. So sometimes the way they paint it just makes it look like a lot of migrants, a lot of legal migrants or a lot of skilled workers are just constituting nuisance and nothing more in the UK. So increasing the level of skills in the domestic labor pool is a worthwhile policy in its own right, but does not guarantee a substantial reduction in the reliance on the immigration system. Employers will often still seek the best possible match for their vacancy, which could include international recruits. And the impact of investment and skills on immigration will vary by sector and occupation. The committee, which advises the government on shortages of skilled labor, said that skilled workers from overseas had a positive net fiscal impact of £16,300, while the average UK-born adult had a positive net fiscal impact of £800 in 2022 to 2023. Can you see the difference? Like, the difference is huge. So as a migrant in the UK, whenever you hear such things, you know, going on about migrants and all of that, you shouldn't feel bad. Instead, you should beat yourself on the chest, tap yourself and say, I am doing well, I am contributing, like, positively to the economy of the UK. And not the other way around, as the way they are painting it. So the significantly higher net contributions for skilled workers compared to UK-born adults reflects both the combination of the higher incomes for this group, leading to higher tax revenues and reduced expenditure in part due to the rules on no recourse to public funds. Guys, can you see exactly what I just said? No recourse to public funds. Like, we are not entitled to it. We don't even have access to it. We don't touch it. But yet, we work hard, make our money. There's already a standard of the amount of money you have to make to even be qualified for a skilled worker visa, right? So you have been able to reach that standard, make this money. You pay much more higher tax than an average Brit, just like Mark has published here. So skilled workers also tend to be younger than the UK population as a whole, resulting in lower health costs compared to the UK average, the report said. So if you go to a typical NHS ward, I'm sure that the number of Brits in that ward is way higher than the number of migrants, if at all you're even going to see any. This is also coming from Mark. That's to show you that they have gone out, looked around, they have seen what's going on, made their own research, found out exactly the truth, and have come back to tell the UK government what they have refused to accept, even though it's obvious. So the government has asked the committee to monitor key sectors where skill shortages have led to surges in overseas recruitment and provide a yearly assessment to ministers to inform policy decision making. Now guys, before I continue, I just want to introduce you guys to LemFi. If you don't know, LemFi is a reliable app that you can use to send money to your loved ones in Africa. LemFi allows residents of the UK, Canada and US to send money to Africa at zero fees. So you can send money to Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Cameroon, Benin, Tanzania, Uganda and Rwanda at zero fees. There are no hidden charges at all, and you're sure that the recipient will receive the money immediately you send it. instantly. So they have the best rates that you can find in the market also, so you'd always get your complete value for money. I've been using LemFi for a while, and I can tell you that it's very reliable, it's easy to use, it's fast, and it's secured, so you really don't have anything to worry about, okay, both for your personal and business transactions. So to get started, you can use my referral link in the description box to get £7 cash back on your first transactions above £50, okay. Alternatively, you can also download the app directly from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store and enter my code Tochi to benefit from this offer. So please download the LemFi app today and begin to send money to Africa for free, and don't forget to use my code Tochi. Now back to the video. Now, while we are expecting net migration to fall further, we would caution the government against linking immigration and skills policy as a one-size-fits-all approach to bringing down net migration, and encourage them to continue to consider individual circumstances within sectors. This report develops a methodology for understanding the fiscal impact of migrants on the skilled worker visa, and an important metric for understanding whether a route enhances the welfare of the resident population. You can also see this on the government website as well, where they give like the full report and everything that the Guardian just summarized for us, okay. I really just use that so that, you know, it will be easier for us to go through it, because this is a law, but it's exactly what was summarized, right? So the numbers and every other thing is here. Feel free to go through it. This is the data from 2021 to 2024, right? As you can see here, skilled worker visas by top sectors. Health and social care has the highest total visas granted, 257,000, right? This is exactly what MAC has reported, and they have also made their recommendations as well. So we're now waiting for the government to react to this, because obviously all MAC has to do is just, you know, go do their investigations, do their findings, and come back to tell the government, see what we discovered, and, you know, give their advice, give their recommendations. It's still up to the government to now decide exactly on what they want to do, right? So the government is yet to comment on this or react to this, but obviously once they say it, you guys know how we do it here. Once the government announces anything or make any further plans, I'm definitely going to share with you guys, okay? Just see the amount of contribution that we are making, and they are not even talking about it. So even if they don't want to talk about it, they don't want to accept it, we should laud it. We should talk about it. Let them hear from us. Let us make this noise, because it's not easy now. It's not easy. Okay, you as a migrant, me as a migrant in the UK, you can tap yourself on the back and say you are doing well. As you're watching this video now, you can even type in the comment section, tell yourself I am doing well. Like, so make some noise, guys. Skilled overseas workers contribute 20 times, not 1, not 2, not 10, not 15, 20 times more than UK born adults, despite not being entitled to public funds. Guys, give yourself a round of applause. You deserve it. It's not easy. And that was why, that's why my sore throat, my cranky voice, I said I must come and share with every one of us so that we can clap for ourselves, because we deserve it, okay? So yeah, that is it for today's video. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye bye.